The crumble is not a bad thing. When you are choosing to have a conscious life, you have to do the crumble. This doesn't mean the crumble has to be hard. So many people are saying, help, I'm feeling the crumble. Help, I'm feeling like my life is falling apart. Or I don't really know where I'm going. So this is called the crumble. And the crumble is not a bad thing. The crumble is great because when we start letting go of our attachments, we create a more conscious life. When we start to understand that we are here ascending while still in a body, everything can change. When we realize we aren't really in control, our souls have chosen what we want to do, how we're going to do it, the experiences we're going to have. So we are in control, but not from cognitive standpoint. Our subconscious is such a huge part of our reality, and we've already chosen what we're here for. And then all we have to do is lean into it. So when the crumble happens, it is crumbling away the old patterns, beliefs, ancestral trauma that you've attached to yourself and what you think you're meant to do and what you think you're meant to be and what you think you're meant to hold on to. But the truth of it is, when you are choosing to have a conscious life, you have to do the crumble. This doesn't mean the crumble has to be hard. This doesn't mean that you have to let your whole life completely dissipate and turn to nothing. But if you can have more understanding that the more conscious you become, the more heightened your awareness becomes as well, then you have an easier viewpoint of how to go forward. And this is surrender, faith, trust, unshakable faith in surrender. Thinking, oh my gosh, my whole life is literally falling at my feet. My relationships are shifting. My work is shifting. My points of views, my beliefs are shifting. Things just aren't like they used to be. This is happening for everybody, and it's going to become more and more intense as we are reaching 2030. It's going to become a lot more intense, a lot more prominent as we start seeing relationships, businesses, our relationship with ourselves all changing. It has to change. We have to change. We can't stay the same because we wanted to go from a 3D paradigm to a 5D, which means we're going from more dense to more flow. We're going from more of a masculine structure to a more flow structure, which is more heart-led. It is more emotionally led as well. So this is a really emotional time. So when my clients message me or my audience is messaging me and commenting on my YouTube videos, they talk about this Shakti rising. They talk about the Kundalini as well. And it's huge. We can have like physical shifts in our body. And one of the things that I've been experiencing in my world is my neck being really stiff, my body being like super stiff. And I've realized this is a manifestation of me trying to hold on to everything that I've created. I want to hold on to my business, hold on to my clients, hold on to my friendships, hold on to my relationship. And if we can literally dissolve and transmute all of our attachments, then we get to recreate them in a way that is even more powerful, where we can have stronger relationships, stronger business, stronger sense of self, because we are conscious leaders. We are here to shift the paradigm, to create greatness. And that means that everything that wasn't working, it has to change. It has to shift. We must realign. Earth must shift. We get to ascend over and over again. Now, this is the thing that really inspired me about having this live. And what that is that so many people are waiting. They're waiting until they die to then go to the Book of Akashic Records and go, yeah, I've done this at first, and then I want to do this now, and etc., etc. And they are bypassing all of what they could go through in this life. So what I've been finding in my different containers, I'm finding that people are saying to me, oh my goodness, the crumble is happening. And I'm having these feelings from 30 years ago. Or this memory came up. And what is happening is I'm having all of these feelings and guilt and shames. And I'm not really sure what to do with it because now I'm married and I've got kids and I'm actually really happy. So why is this coming up? And a lot of people would say, just ignore it. Just focus on the future. And what I say is, you're ascending. And if you're ascending and you haven't dealt with the issues that you went through when you were 18 or when you were 13 or when you were 30, whatever, if you haven't dealt with those issues and you are choosing to be more conscious, you're choosing to be a leader here, going into this 5D paradigm, you've got to clean it up. That doesn't mean sitting in it. It doesn't mean dwelling in it. It doesn't mean allowing yourself to go into woe is me, my parents fucked me up, or that ex-boyfriend he ruined my life, or that assault that happened to me. This is why I can't do anything because I'm a victim. No, it's not about going into a victim mentality. It's about going into that timeline. And this is what we do when we die, is we're going into this energy, into this timeline of, okay, how do I heal this part of me? And we all know that we are amazing healers. We're healers of self. We heal ourselves. When we do Reiki, any type of modality that we do is healing of self. We don't really heal each other. We witness each other and we contribute to each other. We don't really heal each other. So how can you ascend over and over again while you're here living this life, being the conscious leader? Enlightenment in consciousness is not about always being in joy, bypassing the feelings, bypassing the emotions. And some culty religions will tell you that you should always be happy, everything is light and love, and they are lying, because we have got this 4D energy, and in the 4D energy we must shine light on our shadows. We must not bypass it. So when people come to work with me one-to-one, these shadows will always come up. And they will always need to go into that timeline to do work and to heal that part of them. Why? Because they're asleep and they're not choosing to wait until they die. They're deciding to do it now. And that is why when people come to work with me, they will always go through this 4D paradigm shift. This is what I'm here for, is to help them as they're going through a profound shift in their reality. What if your crumble didn't have to be an absolute diabolical drama fest? What if it could be a lot more graceful and with a lot more ease? And that's what I said to a client this morning. What if you didn't have to be on Struggle Street? What if you could have more compassion and more grace for yourself? What if you could do that? What would you choose? What would you take off your agenda for that day? So the question that I've been asking myself is, how can I have so much more ease and so much more grace for myself? How can I let my schedule actually loosen up a little bit? How can I take some of those things off my plate? What would it take for me to have an entire day where I'm just with my family and then I work a couple of hours later? What would it take for me to work around my life and my feeling? That is what we're creating in this world, is working around our feelings, our emotions, and what is truly going on for us. rather than I've got to go to work and I've got to live this life and I've got to be in this hustle. And that might be true to begin with. It was definitely true for me until I decided to change it. And I chose to create. It didn't magically appear in my hand. I chose to create a more conscious life where I get to live a life by my design, how I want to live it. And that was my carrot. That's what got me to where I am now. And there was a whole lot of crumbling that happened with that. Copious amounts of conscious crumbling, allowing my attachments to be detached and allowing myself to see the shadows, to see the parts of myself that I have not been willing to see. And that means timeline stuff comes in as well. That means we get to tap into different ages and different stages and reparent ourselves. Maybe we do some EFT. So there's no right or wrong in how you're doing this. I would love to hear from you guys. How are you feeling? And just please remember, a lot of what you are feeling is you impacting. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed this mini little video about the crumble, about the 4D, about the 5D. Make sure you subscribe and also come over to the Awaken Community Victoria on Facebook. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.